Hello and welcome back to the channel and to my historic house in Nova Scotia, where recently we've been spending a lot of time up in the hurricane room, opening up the walls, learning how the house was constructed, inspecting and then remediating the mold, and today we're going to be wrapping up that room at the same time as we tackle the original root cause of the problem, the roof. Now, the roof isn't leaking in this room anymore, and all the mold we found in the walls has been dormant for a long time, but that doesn't change the fact that we've been having trouble with the roof consistently for the past year and a half. Not quite since day one, but not far from it. But today, we're going to look into what it would cost to replace it all once and for all. This video is sponsored by Bamboo Labs. So today, we're talking roofing. Gonna tackle the fact that we have desperately been needing a new roof for a couple years now, and it is come due. I don't think we can put it off much longer. If you've been with the channel for a while, you'll have seen some of the previous problems we've had with the roof. We've been on the roof from the outside, we've been patching it up from the inside, and I'm not sure we can kick the can down the road too much longer. So we have a call set up today with a roofing company just to get some information because we are going to try metal roofing. By coincidence, I have a friend that I've made in the area, and she has a friend who is a roofer. So she directed me, she put me in contact with him. He basically, from the sound of it, was working a more average 9-to-5 desk job, and I think during the pandemic kind of up and quit and started making his own product, his own roofing product that is, again, environmentally friendly metal roofing that kind of imitates the look of European style roofs, which I love. I mean, you know me, I work in Europe a lot, and that would have made me quite happy to put his product on my roof. So she got us in contact, and after some emails back and forth and sending him pictures of the roof, he said, unfortunately, our roof is not suitable for his product because we have a curved roof. So if you look at the roof line here, it's got that cute little curved swoop out. Yeah, that is causing some problems because you cannot use all types of roofing with that curve, or at least not if you want to keep the curve. Some people, they'll just change the curve into an angle, which I think looks very ugly, and I do not want to do that. So he said, I'm sorry, we can't do it, but he did direct me to a couple other options in the same vein, and one of them is Interlock. It has an incredibly good reputation, but I suspect that reputation comes with a high price tag. As well it should. I'm not criticizing that, I'm just questioning our budget capabilities. So I reached out to them, sent them an email yesterday. We have a call set up with someone from the company in a few minutes here. So I'm just gonna go get Phil, get set up, and we're gonna, first contact, feel it out, and eventually hopefully have someone come out and look at the house and give us a price quote. Hi John, this is Shannon. You left me a message yesterday. I had emailed you with asking some questions about roofing options, basically.
Now, I don't know if you're familiar with this product we have. They're individual aluminum roofing shingles.
We have a kind of a tricky roof line. It's got a gambrel roof, and it's got a little curve at the bottom of it, which means it's like, a little bit trickier.
Which is okay. That's not a problem. So that doesn't really interfere. That's not a problem there.
Okay. Now, there are a lot of benefits to metal roofs. First and foremost, and originally, in my mind, the reason why I wanted to go with one is because they are far more environmentally friendly than the modern asphalt shingles. It's aluminum. It is basically infinitely recyclable, which is fantastic, but there are far more benefits than just being environmentally friendly. They're also far more durable, and that is a big deal, especially here in Nova Scotia, where we get a lot of hurricanes. We have a lot of water, rain, high winds. Actually, I was just laying in bed literally yesterday as the wind shook the whole house. It is a very strong house. It is very well built, but we get insanely high winds here. And the asphalt shingles, the classic roofing, just doesn't cut it. It just doesn't last that long. So that was another reason to look into the metal roofing, because it is just far more durable, especially when it is properly installed. The downside, of course, is that it is also far more expensive, and we have a very tight budget, so it's definitely going to be a balancing act between durability and environmentally conscious decision versus the unfortunate factor of, can we actually afford it?
Yeah, I didn't know if you have if you've ever saw the product on houses or not. If you get something to just write with, I'll just give you a couple addresses you want to look at them. You got a complicated roof there.
Yeah,
It's not so simple. Okay. See, everything is cut by hand, done by hand, all our stuff. So we do take longer.
Yeah.
First of all, let's have a look at it. Let's get it priced out and see if you want to do it. Pick your roof color, then match your siding to the roof.
Yeah.
But we have grays and browns and, different colors, different browns and black and things like that. So,
okay. Excellent.
I will be in touch with you here, and I hope next week here we can work something.
Excellent. Yeah, that'd be great.
And then we'll go from there.
Perfect. Thanks so much, John.
Great. Take care. Thanks.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so we're going to be going on a bit of a road trip here to check out some of the other houses. He gave us a list of addresses of houses in the general vicinity that the company has roofed, so we can look at the product in person. He did recommend that. But before we leave the house for several hours, we're actually going to start a print because we've got a very cool project going on that involves these moldings. Historic moldings. It's gonna be very fun. So let's chat about it. So obviously we've got lots of molding in this house and on the exterior of the house, and some of it's gonna need stripping, sanding, and refinishing, and some of it will actually need replacing. Now here I actually have a small offcut of one of the pieces that we can use to get a cross section here of the profile, which you can see we've already done. We actually managed to replicate and print one of the cross sections. But to do that, you pretty much need like a square on section here that you can get a cut for. And most of the molding is gonna remain in place. It's not gonna get pulled off, it's not gonna get cut. Figuring out all of these like angles and profiles, it's gonna be a bit trickier. So actually what we're doing is we're making one of these. This is a radius gauge, and that's gonna allow us to measure the precise radius of both the convex and concave curves of all the moldings in the house, regardless of where they are, baseboard or picture rail or whatever, without having to remove them or to cut them. So I have already loaded this up onto the printer and we're gonna let it print while we're gone. It's super simple. I'm just gonna choose the model that I like. This one is exclusive to Bamboo Labs. I'm gonna send it to the printer and I'm gonna let it do its thing, and we'll check back in on it when we get back. Wish he would have chosen prettier houses to recommend us look at.
It does look shingly.
Yeah, it does look shingly.
And that's an easy roof line there.
It's as easy as they come. I hope that's not the one he said was 46,000.
No, it was a big old house one.
Yeah, looks clean. Wow, so pretty.
Roof needs work.
The roof needs work, but the trim is on point. Are we okay?
I'm dragging a stick.
Oh, Canella would be proud. Why do I feel like ours is a lot more complicated than that? But it's definitely a lot bigger than that, that's for sure.
Not that much.
It looks sharp. Excuse me, what? I want to meet these people. You see it? It's so fabulous.
Also the giant lights and the giant plug.
Yeah, I missed that. Wow. These people must be so cool. I just want to knock on the doorbell and tell them that I love their house.
last.
I didn't think he was supposed to be in warmer climes. No wonder he's confused. He found the black asphalt. He was like, oh, this is cozy. Okay, nutshell thoughts on the road trip. First of all, I still prefer the look of asphalt over imitation asphalt. But if we're going with a metal roof of some sort, I do like the look of interlock over standing seams. I just generally don't like the look of standing seam roofs. I think they're okay on some houses. I don't think it would look very good on our house, especially not with the bay windows. I'll throw in some images here of what bay window roofs look like when they're done with standing seams, and I find it very clunky and awkward. So not going to be going with standing seam, I don't think. The interlock, I think it would be a great way to protect the house. But the other thing that it brought up was that we actually need to start thinking about the aesthetics of the house in terms of like what colors we're going to be painting it. This is not something I have previously given any thought or time to because it felt very frivolous. It felt very far in the future. But actually, it is true that if we're going to be dropping tons of money on a roof, it would be good that the color of the roof did not at least completely clash with the color of the house. And I think it's going to be like a very fun community project here to get our brains spinning and thinking about color schemes. I think I might do some sort of like Google form open call where you can submit images of houses that you like their color schemes. It is not a fully fleshed out idea, so please do not send me anything. I don't want to be getting emails or DMs with images. I will ignore them. They will get lost. So wait till I announce something formal, but I think it's going to be a really fun sort of community thing that we can all weigh in and suggest color schemes. So that is where we stand after the road trip. Oh, and the other thing, actually, while we were gone, the print finished. So let me show you these moldings. It's very, very cool. I'm very excited about them. Okay, so here is the finished radius gauge. It's obviously already assembled, and I'll show you right now some shots of how we're going to be using it. This is going to be great both for creating custom sanding blocks, but also if we need to get custom knives made in the future to reproduce sections of these moldings, we're going to have the exact diameters and distances, which is perfect. And all of these were printed on Bamboo Lab's newest printer, the X2D. This one has two nozzles, so a main one and a secondary one that makes things like multicolor printing much faster and use less plastic, which you know I love. So for example, this custom battery holder that we designed to fit in my thrift store bathroom tote thing that I use to carry all of my various filming supplies around the house with me. I use it every day. This is gonna make my filming setup so much more streamlined. The full batteries go in here. The empty batteries go in here. It fits perfectly in that tote in this weird space where I couldn't really fit a lot of other stuff. And this, not only is it super cool and really useful, but it printed so much faster on the X2D because I could put the green filament in one nozzle, the red in the secondary nozzle, and the color switch between the two was basically instantaneous. Plus, I set the printer to purge into the infill of the model, which also saved on the amount of filament that I needed to use. If you're just getting into 3D printing, you don't have to design your own models. Bamboo Lab has a giant library of completely free models to choose from with notes on which settings are best to use. They have photos from other users that have printed off that model. So chances are, if you're looking for something, you can search it on Bamboo Handy and find it. Another really nice feature of the dual nozzles on the X2D is the support removal process, something that can often take a bit of time, it requires a delicate touch, and can sometimes be frustrating, is now effortless and leaves behind a super clean finish. So the new printer, it unlocks effortless support removal, faster and simpler multicolor printing, and mixed material builds without having to do manual filament swaps. Plus, it of course comes with the Bamboo Lab's signature attention to detail and usability. It gives you basically a professional grade print, but with a very affordable price tag. So if you have been considering dipping your toes into the 3D printing world, or maybe you already have one but you want to upgrade your setup, I definitely stand by the Bamboo Lab name. They have always given me really high quality, consistent results. And as always, I do have an affiliate link in the description if you'd like to check it out. Back up in the hurricane room, I had a tiny bit more scrubbing to do on some mold on sections that were less accessible. They were mainly down under the floor level, but I was definitely afraid of dropping my one and only wire brush down into the cavity to be lost forever until somebody else came along to do renovations in another 100 years. So I came up with this fun little situation to prevent that. Okay, full disclosure, there is one bay down here on the floor that still has mold in it, and it is also open to the outside. I can literally see the outside from the inside. Not great, but also I am so cold. I can hardly feel my fingers, and this mold is dead, so we're just going to pack it with some insulation and come back in a couple weeks when it's a little bit warmer, and then I will scrub it down again. So that's my YouTube expose confession right there. Gonna leave mold in that cavity for now. But don't worry, I'll be back. The next step, since it's clearly very cold in that room, should be pretty obvious: insulation. Now, Rockwool comes in two different widths. You've got your width for studs that are 16 on center and for studs that are 24 on center. And what are these studs, you might ask? My man, the house was built in 1902. They're nothing on center. So of course, we have to choose the closest option and custom cut each one to fit perfectly in every individual bay. I know some of you might be getting really excited to see this room get closed up and drywalled or plastered and worked on, decorated, and I hate to disappoint you, but this is as far as we're going to be going with this room for now. We're going to be leaving it on the open studs so we can occasionally inspect the insulation for the foreseeable future until we finalize our plans for the building envelope. Now, this is not an invitation for suggestions or advice. This is merely a status update, so I don't leave you hanging, and just to let you know that we won't be closing these walls up or hanging any wallpaper, reproduction, or otherwise in the near future. And we managed to get almost exactly enough insulation to finish that first wall before we ran out and had to go get some more. Is it even a renovation if you haven't hit the hardware store at least twice that day? Will it or won't it? It will! Can we get the 2x6s in as well? Maybe. He's gonna try. Oh, that's my head. That's my head! Okay, stop. That's the glass. Look at this. Look at this little doggo. It's a tight fit. Done. Looking pretty good, and it went pretty fast. It took us just under an hour, but that is also in part because the floor plates, well, first of all, these three don't need floor plates because they have a header for the bay window underneath. That floor plate got cut, and this one we're waiting on. That's my confession cubby one, so that one is going to get a floor plate later. Also, they didn't need any fire blocking or any, wood bracing going across the top here because the joists in the floor are running this way. So the joists are naturally kind of cutting off airflow. However, and that's not the case for these guys. So we're going to have to go in and do the same thing that we did down here, where we gave it some blocking and a little air barrier. Going to go and do the same thing up there. Because if you look up there far enough, you're going to see, oh, well, of course I chose the one that's blocked off. But if you look up in these guys, you're going to see that's just the blown in from the attic. So Gonna block all that off, and then we can insulate the walls. Hopefully should take not too long. Fingers crossed.
Two feet on the dot. Inches. 18 3/8.
Now, because a couple of our bays are significantly wider than the widest bat of insulation, we are having to add in some faux studs. These aren't structural at all. They're literally just there to help hold the rock wool snugly in place. So for those, we are ripping down a 2x6. We're cutting it to the right width, which would be a 2x5, but a true 2x5. And then we're cutting it to the right height. And then Bob's your uncle. It's ready to throw on the wall. Now, if you remember back a few weeks ago, we had to cut through these planks in order to get them off the wall. And at that time, I said that we measured, we cut carefully, and with a bit of forethought. And that's because we planned ahead and we cut them to the perfect length so that we could install one full width of insulation. We didn't have to trim any of it down. We just slammed it right in the wall as is. We could put our faux stud in place, and it was in the perfect position to be right underneath that cut in the planks. So that gave us a nice solid backing to screw the boards down to, and that way the ends aren't just free floating in space. I'm telling you, a little forethought and planning goes such a long way in renovation. So then the roofing rep came out to the house to size it up, literally, in this case, in order to see what it would take to get this house covered in his product and to give us a quote. So we gave him a full tour of the parts of the house that involved the roof, including our newly insulated hurricane room and, of course, the attic. Honestly, we spent so much time in this attic. What I really liked was that this guy had been in the business for many, many years, and he was clearly very knowledgeable, reputable, and good-natured. After we had shown him the house, he took us down and showed us his products, all the individual shingles, how they use them on the house.
That's the locking point for the shingle. So we cut the shingle, rebend them, and lock them in. So the valley becomes one lock piece in the whole roof.
He showed us some other case studies in which their roofs had been used.
See, this had the steel on, this house here. That's what was before. It's a stone house.
It's a lovely house.
We took it off, and then we put ours on. So.
And we got to see some samples of the various options that they offer in terms of type, style, and color of shingle.
So either way, they work exactly the same thing, okay? It's just a matter of choice. It's just the choice what people like, okay?
Then, while Phil ran back upstairs to check the pitch of the two roofs, we stayed on the ground and took some measurements to calculate how many shingles we were going to need for this absolutely gigantic roof.
Alright, so I am in the attic and I have a little gadget here from the roofing guy to calculate the pitch of the roof. So let's do that. It's this little fella here, and then the angle you put it at gives you your pitch. We have a degree, wrong side. Looks like a 10-12. This one is inconsistent. Let's put it here. Yeah, 9.5, 10, 12 pitch.
So, what was it?
10-12.
10-12.
Both of them.
Nice.
10-12, both of them.
Okay, so he just left. Oof. Burr. It was very cold out there. Anyway, he took all the measurements he needed to calculate the size of the roof, and he said he'll get back to us hopefully in the coming week with the size of the roof, like what that means for us, how much it's going to cost us. By our calculations, off of the 3D model we have of the house, we have estimated the roof to be just over 2,000 square feet. It's like 2,100 square feet. So with that information, I thought it'd be kind of fun. We could all put our guesses down in the comments with how much you think this roof is going to cost us. And then when he calls us back, I will update you and we'll see who was closest. So throw those down below and it'll be a fun guessing game. We can review it. And I guess the good news is no matter what, you're not the one who's going to have to pay for it. Okay, bye. Hello.
Yeah. Just off the car. What kind of angle are we on here? We're
312?
almost at 312.
It's the moment of truth. They took it. They took our garbage. Oh my gosh. Love that.